The aim was to pick a subject in the field of metabolism and writing a text about it using 3 sources. The sources were then to be analyzed to raise awareness of what sources you should use and what to look at when choosing your sources in the future. What is metabolism? So what is metabolism? Metabolism is the process in which the food we consume is broken down by the body, turned into energy, or digested by the body. To simplify it, you can say that what has to do with food in the body is metabolism. Anorexia nervosa. Anorexia is a disease in which the patient is obsessed with thinness. The patient stops to eat or only eats a little to lose weight fast. The symptoms are many. Teenager production of growth and gonadotropin hormone slows down so that puberty becomes delayed. The patient gets trouble with the heart and loses hair. All the symptoms from starvation can be added to the list. Due to the lack of nutrition, the patient will die eventually if not help is given. The death rate is very high. This disease is mostly caused by society's sick, thin ideal. How is anorexia linked to metabolism? A patient that has anorexia is not getting enough proteins, carbs, any nutrition really. This means that the body is suffering big time. For example, the patient can develop another disease called fatty liver, which basically means that the liver starts collecting fat. The body also starts to take fat from the body to make energy. That is why the patient suffering from anorexia loses weight fast. Sources used. The sources used were Wikipedia, Nationalencyklopedin, and Science News. They all had a lot of information about anorexia nervosa. They also seemed like interesting sites to analyze. Method and material. Firstly, 3 pages were chosen. They were read through and the information was taken from them to build a text about anorexia nervosa. The sources were then analyzed and looked at. Were they okay? So what did I look at when analysis of the sources were made? There were a few specific things I looked at. Firstly, I looked at the page. Did it look formal? Did it look like a professional site only by looking at it? Secondly, I looked at the content of the text. Did it stay true all the way through the text, or did it talk against itself? Thirdly, I looked at the sources. Were the facts supported by study, or did the site have the original source? Last of all, I compared the sources to each other. Did they agree? So what were the results? Let's start with Wikipedia, shall we? Wikipedia had a lot of information, and if there was a word you did not understand, you could click on the word and read more about that. That was good, but otherwise, Wikipedia was not a good site. The site looked professional, but when reading the content, it spoke against itself, and no sources or studies were published. I have no idea where the information came from. Just like Wikipedia, you could follow up on words you did not understand and read about it. The site is well made and looks trustworthy. What is special about Nationalencyklopedin is that it is a paid site, so the author gets paid for writing the articles. This increases the trust for the site. Also, schools all over the world recommend this site for their students. The author's names and study were clearly stated. Science News had a lot of backup to their facts, studies that had recently been made, and so on. Science News looked professional as well as the content. In the end of the article, there was a list of all the sources with date and contact information. A very good site. In conclusion, I can say that in the future I will be more careful with what sources I use, and I know now what to look at and how to analyze sources. The